Okay, now we have to hazard and vulnerability profile of India. Okay, in hazard and vulnerability profile of India, in disasters we can classify it into two. One is natural disasters, another one is man-made disasters. Both natural and man-made disasters, about 60% of the land mass is prone to earthquake only. 68% of the area is prone to drought. 8,000 km speed coastal line is prone to cyclone high wind velocity. 50% of the area coastal states are vulnerable to tsunamis. Thus, 30% of the area biological and chemical materials industrial accidents. Next one, you have to go for roles of central and state governments during disasters. Okay. Central and state governments responsible for undertaking mitigations, preparedness, response, relief, and rehabilitation measures. Central government supplements the efforts of state governments by providing financial support in case of a major calamity. Involvement of local bodies, non-governmental sectors, self-help group in relief and response. Okay. Next one, role of central and state governments during disasters. Coordination of action, departmental activities, national authority, state government authority, non-governmental organizations. These under all responsibility for central government response. Next one, components of disaster relief. Emergency management refers to the process of responding, providing humanitarians for first aid to persons who have suffered from some forms of disaster. Next one, emergency response. Contain a disastrous event to prevent any further loss of life, re-establish normality life rehabilitation short thereafter. General types of emergencies. Human caused emergencies, natural disasters, internal disturbance, energy and material shortage, attack. Now we have to see one by one. Human caused emergencies, unplanned events or unplanned accident that result from human activities. Next one, natural disasters. Unplanned events. One is tsunami, that is also unplanned events. Earthquake also unplanned events. Floods, droughts, extreme heat or extreme cold, insect infestations. These are all the unplanned events. Next one, internal disturbance. Large scale prison break, violent strikes. Energy and material shortages. One is strikes, price wars, resource scarcity. So next one, attack. Large scale terrorism, nuclear convention. Next one, disaster damage assessment. Emergency disaster has occurred. Fundamental to timely and accurate initial damage assessment. Who are trained or experienced in emergency. Replacement of totally destroyed asset. Parameters affected economic indicators. One is gross domestic product, price or inflation, employment, balance of payment. Recovery phase for disaster, mitigation, preparedness, response, recovery. First, you have to see mitigations. Minimize the effects of disasters. Building codes should provide building codes, zoning, vulnerability analysis, public educations. You construct the building at the time you have to use it for building codes, and then you have to construct the building at the time of soils. You have to check the zones. Okay. Planning how to response. That is preparedness. You have to see now. Preparedness plan, emergency exercise, training, warning system. Response. Next one, efforts to minimize hazard created by disaster, emergency relief. Next one, recovery, returning the community to normal, temporary housing, grants, medical care. Next one, basic things to be considered and prepared before planning in mitigate disasters. Be ready at home, be ready at work, research non-governmental organizations, know your community vulnerabilities, learn about agencies and roles, information your plan with the statistics, understand continuity of operation. Next one, roles of state governments during disasters. Emergency communications, transporting persons, relief goods, temporary shelters, immediate relief, members of district disasters management communities, deputy commissioner of police, deputy chief fire officers, superintendent engineers, deputy director of education. Next, you have to go for roles of local disaster management group of government. You have to develop the disaster management, review the disaster management and assess effective disaster management. Help local government to prepare a local disaster management. Ensure the community know how to respond in a disaster. Identify and coordinate disaster resource. Manage local disaster operation. Next one, safety management factors. One is delegation of safety activities, conduct of safety audit, monitoring of unsafe worker behaviors, safety training. One is initial and another one is continuing. Good housekeeping. And next one, members of district disaster management community, deputy commissioner of police, deputy chief fire officers, chief engineers of PWD, that is PWD is nothing but public work department, superintending engineers of zones. You have to check the zone area soils, and then deputy director of education, and then power and function of NEC, that is national executive committees. Prepare the national plan to be approved by NDMA. NDMA stands for National Disaster Management Authority. Okay.